bring the lost to Jesus for membership in his family, to develop them into Christ-like maturity, to equip them for Christ's ministry on earth, to improve their quality of life, to be a ministry to the total man.
Tell your neighbor, say, keep his word.
Keep his word.
Enjoy long life, and peace. Because I will keep him. Oh, y'all don't hear me. I will keep him or her in perfect peace, whose mind is what? Stay. If your mind is on Sally, if your mind is on Tom, if your mind is on Tyrone, you're going to have trouble. But put your mind on Jesus and he'll make a way out of no way. Where is your mind? Grab that mind. Touch your head. Touch your head. Say, Lord, keep my mind, because you promised me if I obey your word. Come on, talk to me. If I obey your word, you promised me long life and peace. And you said by two immutable things it's impossible for you to lie. And God has made me, he's made you a promise, and I'm going to hold on to the promises of God. Somebody ought to show him their faith. Long life. Well, my mama had breast cancer and she died. And so I'm checking myself for these lumps. Do that, do that. But that don't mean you're going to die.
That's right, Bishop. That's right, Bishop.
Don't y'all mess with me today.
That's
I'm in a vein. Check yourself. Yeah, check yourself. And then when I hear you talking to my mind, God, many
are the afflictions of the righteous.
Well, let me say it again. Many. That means you're going to get hit with a whole lot of stuff. But you are a believer in God.
Yes.
And you're not going to let the stuff break your spirit. Because the God of the Bible has already told you many are the afflictions of the righteous. Now let's pause with righteous. Pause with righteous. Righteous don't mean perfect. Get that out of your head. Help me say practicing right doing. That's what makes you holy. What makes you holy is not that you're perfect, but you practice right doing. Come on, talk back to me. Say, I'm practicing right doing. I'm practicing how to live right. So I'm studying the word so I can have long life and I can have peace in this life. But I ain't through, y'all. Come on, daughter, take me to the Bible. Y'all, excuse me, I got a little excited.
Let not mercy and truth forsake thee.
That's it, daughter. Don't you dare let mercy and truth forsake you. Help me say my attitude. The world says it this way. The world says my attitude Don't fool with me over there. My attitude will dictate my... See, you'll notice in our community, our people are so negative. And it ain't just in our church. It's in this community. It's a spirit of negativity. And that spirit of negativity comes from individual disappointment. They're disappointed in themselves and in their own lives. Lord, help me teach. You don't have to allow yourself to get caught up with your disappointment, because that's why you serve God. God tells you, I come that you might have life. Oh, y'all know the Bible. And have it more what? All right, I'm going to give you life, meaning I'm going to give you a reason to live. And then he adds on abundance. I'm going to bless you so you don't have to beg. You don't have to beg. I come to give you life. See, Jesus came to the poor. He came to the poor. And he came to the blind. He came to those people that were at the bottom of the rung. When he picked out his disciples, he did not pick out potentates and prelates. He had one guy by the name of Luke, who was an exception because Luke was a doctor. But the rest of them guys, he even went and got Matthew. Matthew was a guy that they didn't like, Sister Henderson. They hated him because he was a tax collector. Couldn't stand him. God takes things that are despised. God takes lives that are torn up, messed up, upside down. He takes them lives, turns them lives around so that same life can say, look where the Lord has brought me from. And you ought not be walking around disappointed, throwing fingers at somebody else, hoping somebody else falls because you ain't up. No! All I'm going to do is try to get closer to God. I ain't got time to be jealous of you. Y'all hear me? I ain't got time to be jealous of you. I ain't got time to be throwing rocks at you. I'm trying to get closer to the cross, because if I get closer to the cross, there is no limit to what I can have. Y'all don't hear me. The God I serve is able to take nothing and make something out of it. Some of y'all need to look back over your shoulder and see where God done brought you from. He done brought some of us out of a whole lot of mess. I ain't bragging, but I'm so thankful. I hear David talking to my mind. David said, my soul will make her boast. Oh, y'all don't hear me. Make her boast in the Lord, and the humble will hear of it and be glad. Then he said, oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. I cried, and the Lord heard me. And delivered me out of my fears. He is a deliverer. Oh, y'all don't hear me today. My God is a deliverer. He's the same God yesterday, today, and forevermore. If he did it for me, he can do it for you. Will y'all help me teach? Tell your neighbor, say, if he did it for me, he can do it for you. So let's take time and give him some praise. Yeah. Y'all excuse me. When I think, y'all hear it all the time. When I think of the goodness of Think about what he done for you. Think about what he done for you. If you got common sense, I heard Jesse Jackson make this statement. Jesse Jackson say, if you're in your right mind, you're going to think. And if you think, you got to give God thanks. If you think, you'll give God thanks. What you thinking about? What are you thinking about? Hallelujah. God, excuse me, man. But I feel something in my spirit. Yes. And I took off length of days. We got hung up on that. But he says, don't let mercy and truth forsake you. Help me say mercy. Mercy. Now, mercy is a little different than grace, but they run together. Grace is for those of us that are ignorant. We don't know the things of God. When you were in the world and in the street, you did a whole lot of stuff. But God had grace on your life. You've heard sinners say, well, I know God heard my prayer. No. He was just having grace. Grace is God's unearned favor. Now, Sister Mercy. Sister Mercy is a little different. Sister Mercy is for those of us that know the truth and won't do it. So he's saying to me, he's saying to you, don't let mercy and truth, mercy and honesty forsake you. You may know stuff on Sister Cross-Eye. You may know Deacon Slewfoot ain't right. But because Deacon Slewfoot is my brother, I'm going to have mercy. I ain't going to kill you, Sister Cross-Eyed. I ain't going to kill you, Brother Nappy Hair. Yeah, I done heard you been running with Sally. Yeah, I heard, I saw you the other day tipping over to Sister Sally's house. But I've got mercy. Yeah. And because of that mercy, I'm not going to hurt you. Ask me why. Because Jesus says this in the first chapter of St. John, grace for grace. I have had grace on you. I want you. Girl, you're looking at me so hard. I want you to have grace on them. Grace for grace. You ought to name your child Grace. God's unearned favor. Come on, daughter.
Bind them about thy neck.
You take them. Now, help me say phylacteries. The reason he says it this way is because the Hebrews had in their law something called phylacteries. The phylacteries was the 10 Commandments, but they were called phylacteries because they wore them around their neck and they would wear them around their wrist and they would have them up in their homes. Otherwise, as they moved, the word was always staring them in the face. He says, bind them. Read that again, daughter.
Bind them about thy neck.
Bind them about thy neck.
Write them on the table of thine heart.
So shalt thou, if you do this. Read verse 4. Is verse 4 on the screen? Read verse 4. Nothing is on the screen? All right. I want you to read Proverbs 2 and 4.
3 and 4.
Proverbs 2, verse 4. And come on, you got it, Maya?
3 and 4.
Proverbs, 3 and verse 4.
So shalt thou find favor.
If you do this, wow, this is really powerful. He says, if you do this, you will find favor
And
with
good understanding.
You'll get, wow, you will have good understanding
In the sight of God and man.
Whoa. I want you to repeat these words after me. Say, God is a spirit. What he does, he moves on the minds of human beings. They don't have to be saved. The spirit can move on a person to make that person like you when at one time they hated you. I'm going to tell you something that my father told me when he sat me down when I took this church. He said, Sonny, you be careful how you live. He says, because God is funny. If he turns on you, he will get in the minds of people and they will turn on you and don't know why they turn. Otherwise, you can carry yourself in such a way until when God backs out, everything you try to do will start. I don't know why people say it's going south, because going south is fun to me because it's warm. So I'm going to reverse that thing. Go north. Meaning that things will start to go wrong. People will start doing crazy stuff to you and against you. You'll try to put your hands on things, and whatever you touch will not work. Doors will start shutting in your face. You want favor. That's why they say favor ain't fair. Because if you got God's favor, you're able to get on your knees and put God on God. How many don't understand what I just said? Raise your hand. I said you can get on your knees and put God on God. Anybody don't understand that? Raise your hand. All right. Meaning that you take the word of God, the Bible, the word, and you put the word in his face. Now, he done already told you, if you live for me, I'm going to give you long life. I'm going to give you peace. He already told you it's according to your faith. So be it unto you. So now I'm going to skip a little away from the text and deal with faith, because there's some people that trust but don't have faith. Now, you trust God because you believe God can do the impossible. You believe God can do this, God can do the other. But your faith for yourself has an element that's missing. The element that's missing is expectation. I believe you, God. I believe you exist. I believe you're alive, but you don't expect nothing. Lord, you said I'm healed by the wound in your side. So now I expect. They told me, we're going to have to give you a defibrillator for your heart. That's what the doctor told me. I listened to him real good. But I said to him, no, I ain't having no more surgery. If God is real, he's going to heal me and give me back everything that I lost. Now, I talked to my doctor like I talked to you. Say, I ain't ashamed. I don't care who you are. You ain't nothing but a person. You're a human being. Get that in your mind. Ain't nobody God but God. He had no business telling me by his stripes I'm healed. He said, meaning by the stripes of Jesus, you are healed. So, sweetheart, here's what I mean. You take his word and put it on him. But a lot of times people don't know the word. So how are you going to put Jesus on Jesus if you don't know the word? You got to throw it in his face, and then when you throw, let me break it down this way. I can get really, really down. And you know what Marianne will do? My wife don't bother me. She knows how to live with me. She knows how to live with Sonny, Nathaniel, whatever you want to call me, Wells. In her quiet way, she'll say, Sonny, all these years you've been preaching, what's wrong with you? Do you believe what you're preaching? Now what I'm going to say? I mean, like, what am I going to say? Get mad? Throw plates? No. She put my words back on you. Take my same words. You catching what I'm saying, hon? She took my words, threw them in my face, and all I got to do is get back up, get back in the fight, and say, Lord, here I am. Otherwise, it's called reviving. Yes. Reviving. You need to be revived. You need to be renewed. That's why you don't allow the devil to keep you away from church. And the preacher has to ask God, anoint me to give me the right thing to say to my people for their lives and for their renewing. I want you to raise your hand to God and say, Lord, revive me again. Come on, put your hands together and let's praise him. I just had a thought in my mind, JR. Just had a thought in my mind. I don't want to make you mad, JR. Gray. I'm going to cut my message right there. And I'm going to do a part 2. And stay right in there. And deal with God's instruction for a quality life. Come on, help me say God's instruction for a quality life. Make a note, Maya, where I left off, because I'm going to do part 2. Start from the verse I left, because there are many of us, as I stand here today, already saved. You already believe God, but you allowed your circumstance. You've allowed your condition. Some of you, I feel even you've allowed the doctor to discourage you about your life and about your health. That same doctor, when I got through telling him that, I can't remember how long it was, but they came back and said, all right, Bishop, we're going to give you an ultrasound. They came back, they gave me the ultrasound. When they gave me the ultrasound, the nurse called me. She said, Bishop Wells, your rejection fraction. My rejection fraction had dropped to 25%. You get below 25%, you're going to have a massive heart attack and you're dead. It had dropped 25%. She says, we don't understand it, but this thing says that your rejection fraction has gone back up to 50%. I know. Many days I sat in my chair in my house, putting Jesus on Jesus, taking his word, putting it in his face. Told God, Lord, I preach faith. And if you don't keep it for me, I'm preaching a lie. What I've learned about God, if you stay in his will, I want you to listen to what I'm going to tell you because it's powerful. He always will honor his word. And if you're in his will, he will honor what you say. That's why he gives you the authority to speak it. And it will come alive if you believe it. But that don't mean you ain't gonna be tested. Do you hear me? That don't mean you ain't gonna be tried. Abraham started at age 75, and the reality of his promise didn't come until he was 100. How long is that? 25 years. They that wait. Do y'all hear me? They that wait on the Lord, he shall renew your strength. He'll give you back everything you lost. I want to take time and pray for you today because you're here. I know you and I feel you. Don't care what folks say and don't care what stones they throw at you. God will preserve you. And when he does, them same folks that was throwing at you have to sit back and look. Oh my God, they're like Paul when he come up out of the shipwreck. Snake bit him. When the snake bit him, the Bible said those barbarian people looked at him and said, even though he escaped the sea, vengeance suffereth him not to live. Otherwise, the man had some trouble, and folks thought, sure, he did some wrong. Just because you having trouble don't mean you done wrong. The Bible said he shook the beast, and the beast fell into the fire. And the people said after they looked at him a while and he didn't swell up, fall down dead, they said he must be a God. Righteous Son.
Count on Malone Media Productions for all your professional video needs. Services include sports filming and editing, professional documentaries and presentations, promotional videos and infomercials, job fair and recruitment videos, video consultation and training, portrait videos for all your precious moments, church and business commercials, as well as 4-camera wedding and event filming. Contact Cottrell Malone of Malone Media Productions for a free promotional DVD and quote.